They had the fame, they had the fortune, they had the world calling their names. But what they didn't see coming was the woman they married. These were black legends, icons who changed music, sports, and culture forever. Men who conquered stages, stadiums, and history books. Yet behind closed doors, many of them were fighting battles no spotlight ever revealed. Not with rivals, not with the system, but inside their own marriages. The media called these women ugly, easy labels, lazy judgments, but that was never the real story. Beneath the insults and headlines lived darker truths, betrayal, power struggles, emotional warfare, and financial destruction that left even the greatest men broken, bankrupt, or erased. These weren't fairy tales gone wrong. They were slow implosions hidden behind fame and smiles. In this series, Secrets of Black Star strips away appearances and exposes what really happened when love met ego, money, and control. If you think you know these men, think again. Hit like, smash subscribe, turn on notifications. The brutal truth starts now.
Ray Charles, the blind genius betrayed at home. Ray Charles was the embodiment of musical brilliance, a blind maestro who defied every barrier, reshaping soul, blues, and gospel into a sound that changed America forever. With timeless classics like Georgia on My Mind and I Got a Woman, he wasn't just admired, he was revered. But while the world applauded his genius, a quieter tragedy unfolded at home. In 1955, Ray married Della Beatrice Robinson, a woman far removed from fame and flashing lights. For years, she ran the household while Ray toured relentlessly. Yet absence bred fractures. Della's spending spiraled into excess, and rumors emerged of an affair with someone inside Ray's own circle, an intimate betrayal that cut deep. As Ray battled heroin addiction, tax problems, and mounting pressure, the marriage collapsed. Their 22-year union ended in 1977, costing Ray roughly $1 million and a luxury Los Angeles property. Publicly, he said nothing. Privately, he endured devastation. Behind the dark glasses lived a man still searching for what he lost: trust, peace, and love. Sam Cooke, the voice of love, silenced by betrayal. Sam Cooke wasn't just a soul singer, he was the heartbeat of a movement. With songs like You Send Me and A Change Is Gonna Come, he bridged gospel and pop, opening doors for generations of black artists. His voice promised love, hope, and dignity. But his marriage told a different story. In 1958, Sam married Barbara Campbell, a woman from his hometown, far from Hollywood glamour. What seemed like stability soon turned toxic. As Sam toured relentlessly, rumors of infidelity followed both of them. The ultimate humiliation came at his funeral in 1964, when Barbara's alleged lover arrived wearing Sam's ring and watch, an unmistakable message. Just 77 days later, Barbara married Bobby Womack, Sam's protege and close friend. The betrayal shattered the Cooke family. Worse, Sam's music catalog and finances became trapped in years of disputes, leaving his children with little protection. For a man who sang about love, Sam Cooke's legacy was haunted by betrayal long after his final note. O.J. Simpson, from American hero to public nightmare. At his peak, O.J. Simpson was the American dream, a legendary NFL star, a movie actor, a charming television personality. He had crossed barriers few black athletes ever had. Fame followed him everywhere. Then came his marriage to Nicole Brown. They met in 1977, when Nicole was just a teenager. Their relationship quickly grew obsessive and violent behind closed doors. Police reports, bruises, and frantic 911 calls painted a picture far removed from O.J.'s public smile. Even after their 1992 divorce, the control never ended. Stalking, threats, and jealousy defined their bond. When Nicole was brutally murdered in 1994,
the world watched as O.J.'s life imploded on live television. Though acquitted criminally, the civil verdict destroyed him financially and morally. This wasn't a story about looks or tabloids. It was a story about unchecked ego, obsession, and a love that turned fatal, destroying a legacy once untouchable. James Brown, funk legend, life in chaos. James Brown was the hardest working man in show business. His sweat-soaked performances and revolutionary funk sound powered American music for decades. On stage, he was control and discipline itself. At home, everything fell apart. In 1984, Brown married Adrienne Rodriguez. The press mocked her appearance, but the real damage was invisible at first. Their marriage descended into drugs, violence, and financial recklessness. Arrests followed. So did brutal accusations from both sides. Adrienne's spending soared: designer clothes, luxury trips, cosmetic procedures, while James battled lawsuits and tax liens. The chaos never stopped. By the mid-1990s, Brown's health and career were unraveling. Then, in 1996, Adrienne died following complications from cosmetic surgery. Though ruled accidental, those close to Brown believed years of abuse, drugs, and stress had already sealed her fate. James Brown lived on, but never fully recovered. Behind the funk was a man deeply scarred by a love that nearly destroyed him. Quincy Jones, When Genius Misjudges Love. Quincy Jones mastered music the way few ever have. From shaping jazz at its finest to producing Thriller, the best-selling album of all time, Quincy wasn't just successful, he was untouchable. A mentor, a visionary, a kingmaker. But his marriage exposed a painful blind spot. In 1974, Quincy married actress Peggy Lipton. Their interracial union was praised publicly as progressive and modern, yet privately it strained under imbalance. Peggy's appetite for status and luxury grew as Quincy's workload expanded worldwide. Lavish homes, jewelry, and endless spending followed, funded by Quincy's relentless output. Then came whispers of an affair. Friends confirmed Quincy was blindsided. The divorce in 1990 cost him millions in assets and royalties, leaving emotional damage far deeper than the financial hit. Quincy rebuilt his empire, but those close to him said the betrayal changed him permanently. For a man who understood harmony better than anyone, love delivered a dissonant, unforgettable lesson. Gary Coleman, childhood fame, adult exploitation. Gary Coleman made America laugh as a child, but adulthood offered him no mercy. Behind the catchphrases and sitcom fame was a man battling illness, exploitation, and loneliness. In 2007, he married Shannon Price, a decision that quickly turned disastrous. Their relationship was marked by public humiliation, physical altercations, and relentless emotional abuse. Though legally divorced within a year, Shannon remained in his life, invoking common law marriage to maintain control. Friends witnessed disturbing behavior, verbal attacks, manipulation, and isolation. In 2010, Gary suffered a fatal fall and requested extended life support. Shannon overrode his wishes just 2 days later. The aftermath was chilling. She tried to claim his estate and sold deathbed photos to tabloids. Gary died almost broke, once a millionaire, now a cautionary tale. His marriage wasn't just tragic, it was the final exploitation of a life that deserved protection, not abuse. Marvin Gaye, Love That Drained the Soul. Marvin Gaye sang with vulnerability that felt dangerous. His music whispered truth, desire, and pain in ways few artists dared. But behind that sensitivity was a marriage that suffocated him. In 1963, Marvin married Anna Gordy, sister of Motown founder Berry Gordy. The relationship was unequal from the start. Age, power, and control shaped every interaction. Anna's influence within Motown gave her leverage, while Marvin slowly lost autonomy over his life and finances. Luxury spending escalated, emotional manipulation followed. When the truth about their adopted son surfaced, the marriage finally collapsed. Anna demanded the profits from Marvin's next album, forcing him to create Here, My Dear to pay off the divorce. The record became a confessional masterpiece, but Marvin never recovered. Financial ruin, addiction, and despair followed, ending in his tragic death. His greatest heartbreak didn't come from music, it came from marriage.
Smokey Robinson, Love Songs, Quiet Destruction. Smokey Robinson's voice defined romance for a generation. With timeless ballads like The Tracks of My Tears and Cruisin', he became the poet of Motown, a man who made heartbreak sound beautiful. But behind the velvet vocals lived a marriage steadily eroding in silence. Smokey married Claudette Rogers, his Miracles bandmate, in 1959. Publicly, they were Motown's golden couple. Privately, trust thinned. Claudette endured miscarriages and emotional distance, while Smokey toured nonstop. Over time, resentment replaced intimacy. Insiders claimed her spending ballooned, designer fashion, jewelry, real estate, forcing Smokey to lean heavily on royalties to stabilize their finances. Rumors of emotional infidelity deepened the rift. By 1986, their marriage ended quietly but expensively. Claudette reportedly walked away with millions and a share of catalog earnings. Smokey continued performing, yet his music turned inward, less hopeful, more reflective. The man who sang Devotion lived a love story that faded without closure.
Muhammad Ali, a marriage he couldn't outrun. Muhammad Ali conquered the world with speed, courage, and conviction. In 1964, fresh off a historic championship and newly devoted to the Nation of Islam, he married Sanji Roy, a modern, outspoken woman who captivated him instantly. The clash came fast. Sanji rejected strict religious rules, refused conservative dress, and embraced nightlife that infuriated Ali's inner circle. As Ali trained and transformed spiritually, Sanji leaned into freedom and spending, reportedly racking up heavy bills. Whispers of infidelity followed, corroding trust. Then came Ali's greatest trial, his refusal of the Vietnam draft. Stripped of his license and income, he needed loyalty most. In 1966, Sanji filed for divorce. The timing crushed him. Financial strain and emotional isolation followed, marking a defeat no punch ever delivered. The marriage lasted just 17 months, but its impact lingered far longer.
Lionel Richie's smooth voice ruled the 1980s. Songs like Hello and All Night Long made him a symbol of devotion and joy. At home, however, his marriage unraveled under fame's pressure. Lionel married Brenda Harvey in 1975. Together, they adopted Nicole Richie and built a stable image until superstardom changed the balance. As tours and attention multiplied, Lionel began an affair with dancer Diane Alexander. In 1988, the lie exploded publicly when Brenda confronted them, leading to her arrest and a media frenzy. The divorce in 1993 came with a heavy financial toll, multi-million-dollar settlements, and reputational damage. Fans took sides. Some blamed Brenda's outburst. Others saw a woman pushed to the edge by neglect. Lionel's hits continued, but his image never fully recovered. For a man who sang eternal love, his most painful chapter played out in headlines and courtrooms.
These 10 stories prove that behind fame, fortune, and screaming headlines lies a truth far more complex than appearances. The label of ugly wives was never the real story. It was a distraction. What truly destroyed these marriages were deeper forces: unchecked ego, unequal power, obsession with control, and money that magnified every flaw instead of fixing it.
Fame doesn't protect relationships. In many cases, it accelerates their collapse. These legends weren't defeated by talent gaps or public enemies, but by private dynamics they underestimated. Love without balance turns toxic. Success without emotional safety becomes dangerous. And silence sometimes costs more than confrontation. The lesson is clear. Character matters more than image. Communication matters more than status. And no legacy, no matter how great, is immune to personal choices made behind closed doors. So now we ask you, were these men blinded by love, or were the warning signs always there? Share your thoughts below. Like the video, comment your perspective, and subscribe to Secrets of Black Star for more untold stories they never wanted you to hear.